I'm saying. If you knew an order, then without saying a word, we all get up and just move to the next spot.
So
It's
you go
not
to
like,
Angela,
no, get up.
you go to John, John, you go to Paula.
All right, we're live on everything. Good morning, good afternoon. What's going on, our Evo fam? So I just double checked the forum and we have 0 questions that have been
we're good here.
offered up to us. So we're just saying hello and then we're out of here. So this is an opportunity to ask the team questions, but we didn't have any that were written underneath any of those posts. So while you're watching, yes, Stu, we're live, so no more texts, please, between you and Danny Feynman. So if you guys have questions related to fitness, nutrition, or being self-quarantined, go ahead and fire them off. What were some things that we were talking about right before we popped on?
Some game.
A game?
Yeah, it was a game.
How you make fitness fun?
With music and chairs.
Music, yeah.
It's got music in it, chairs. You can do that with the family. So, guys, we do have some things.
Shall we make fitness fun?
You can.
3, 2.
There's no music, but you can still move around. Make fitness fun.
That's not what John was doing.
Yeah, get a little copy.
Phil went to the wrong spot.
Oh, man. Come on, Phil.
Phil always got
And it was his idea.
right? It's his idea, and he's got to ruin it. What?
So how do you make fitness fun? Well, I saw Darren pop on here. Yes, going for a bike ride with a bunch of Evo members.
Beehive.
They started at Starbucks and rode 22 point something miles. So how do I stay motivated? Here we have a question from Melissa. How do I stay
Wait,
Spray bottles.
I don't
Spray bottle
I don't
works.
understand the
Motivated.
question. Motivated for what?
Why are you waiting?
Why
What
didn't,
do you-
yeah, I
what is
done
waiting
my
for him
workout
to
before
wake
my
up?
kids even, he'd even.
How do I stay
figure out.
motivated while waiting for my 15-year-old to get up? Does the 15-year-old work out with you? And we have a teenager that sleeps way too much too.
So you're waiting for them to work out with you, and he's still sleeping.
Stretching, push-ups.
Yeah, that's when you can work on some mobility stuff.
Body weight.
You know, anything that kind of loosens you up before you work out while you're waiting for
Or make
him.
them up.
Danielle
Or
Caleb
just
says,
go
nice
wake
to see
his ass
everybody.
up.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, wake him up. Come on, man.
Make up ice.
That's pretty motivating in itself.
She said, yes, I don't want to work out without her.
Wake her up.
Yeah, wake her
I
up.
wake her up, or what I do is I'll do my own workout, which I do a different degree of effort when I'm by myself. I work out pretty hard, but then when my kids want to work out with me later, I might do a lighter version, but put them through a more challenging version because they haven't done it yet. So I get actually the bonus of doing 2 workouts, because if I waited for them to wake up, I mean, I could be waiting till 11 or 12 at that
Melissa,
point.
who's your accountability partner?
Yeah, Melissa, do you have someone that you go live with when you do the workouts? Are you doing them live or you just do them whenever you can? Or whenever
That's
Sleeping
day one,
Beauty.
so if you don't have one, you need to find one.
I'm getting her up now.
3, 2.
There you go.
Little musical chairs.
Music.
The other thing that I would recommend, Melissa, is do exactly what Paula said, or just pick a muscle group that you feel like you want to give some extra attention to, and do some exercises predicated on, triceps or glutes. And then by the time their teenager wakes up, you can go ahead and dive into the actual board and do the workout together. Tom Kasprick said, my garage has turned into a gym. I just saw you guys put a sex doll in there. That's pretty interesting.
Is that the cardio?
Yes. Is that the cardio aspect?
We're going to work out in my garage.
Close the door.
Speaking of garage gyms, so this Thursday I'm going to be going live on the internet machine, talking about things that you can find around your house that may be heavy and usable to
How about that?
put down.
You ready for a video? Flying at
Yesterday's workout was kick-ass. What's up, Danielle Lee? So there are a couple of house cleaning things we got to take care of. Is we did our check-in challenge the first full week we're on lockdown, and we have winners. That is, there is seven people tied. 7 people tied. So we have Mary, Baltor, Nick, I can't pronounce his last name.
Paolini.
Oh, okay.
Danielle Kalem, you're on here. You won a gift card. Lee Gelkin, you won a gift card. Virginia Flores, you won a gift card. Robin Marcus, you won a gift card to NutriShop. Whoa! Good job. So one of the questions we had for you is noon on a Saturday an ideal time for us to do the panel? If not, we could move it to a different time, but we feel like noon on Saturday is not as busy as it once was for everyone because everything is shut down. So there's no soccer, cheerleading, softball, gymnastics, things of that nature. So let us know if there's a better time to go live. Elaine says she likes this morning's workout. I liked it too. The other thing is, guys, we want you to create those create the mind-body account so you can start logging in you can sign in through MindBody, and we want to come out of this quarantine rolling out a new rewards program, and it's only going to be predicated on your ability to be interacting with that MindBody software. So you have to download the app. Matt did a whole tutorial on that, and it's imperative that you guys start using that app and start signing in through the MindBody app so we can start tracking and logging, and that's how the reward program is going to work. So you're going to have to do it. All right, it takes like literally 2 minutes. Stu, are you saying more crazy stuff? Live shout out to Brianne Farron. Yes, nice job, Stu. Says live shout out to Brianne Farron. Brianne Farron just got engaged. She got engaged to a Marine, by God. Good call, Stu. Good job. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Or good afternoon.
Questions, let's hear some questions.
Love seeing all the faces. We love seeing you too, Carol.
Baskins.
Carol Baskins. All right, last time we did favorite exercises. Let's do favorite healthy snack. Paula, go.
Oh. Besides peanut butter, I think my favorite healthy snack is probably hummus and carrots. That's what I go to.
It's peas and carrot. Oh,
Not
hummus
peas,
and carrots.
hummus and carrots. My only suggestion though, when you come to snacking, and I guess this would go for all snacks, is you gotta measure it out. Because 1 tablespoon of hummus is much smaller than your
Moderation, especially
Yes.
moderation.
Same with peanut butter, but that would be my healthy snack.
All right, Phil, what's healthy snack?
What? Chocolate chip cookies.
Yes.
Chocolate chip
healthy.
cookies.
I am a cookie monster though, so I do like to save my snacks for sweet stuff. So if I'm going real crazy, I do rice cakes and 2 tablespoons of actual almond butter, not the processed shit. And it works great.
Awesome. She swirl.
Keep it very simple. A green apple. Very simple.
Dude, I'm on board with you.
Apple and stuff.
Yeah, very simple.
Especially
Yeah.
peanut butter.
Angelo, healthy snack.
Snack.
Donuts.
Gushers.
Chicken.
Sour Patch Kids.
Angela doesn't eat healthy snacks.
All I eat is steak and eggs. Sorry. Bacon.
He actually
Yes.
he actually had time to prepare for an answer, and he's got it on. So I'm assuming there's not much healthy snacks. Jay, healthy snack.
I'm different here as well with popcorn. Without all the crap on it, it's actually kind of pretty healthy alternative.
Skinny pop.
Except I.
Skinny pop.
Actually, Black Jewel is a really good microwave popcorn.
So,
Who's next? So healthy popcorn. John, healthy snack.
except I eat caramel.
Alright, so my healthy snack is super simple. It's just a nice, easy protein shake. Low carb, low fat protein shake, high protein. Fills me up, keeps me going.
Matt Jones.
Protein balls. So Mama JoJo's are
Yeah.
awesome. But my mama's been in the house, so she's been making protein balls for me. It's got oatmeal, flax seed ground up, chia seeds, protein, and peanut butter with a little bit of honey. So it's all really natural, really good, and actually tastes really good. So you guys should experiment with that.
Yeah.
I have a good question.
Hold on, I got my healthy snack.
Oh, yes, let's hear your healthy snack.
So I do a couple different things. I just like Shirley, I like an apple, or like the guys were saying, healthy protein shake is my healthy snack. That's my normally one a day, 1 apple a day, or a healthy protein shake a day. Now Paula.
Fears also.
Or a Fro Pro, or JoJo's balls, which we're out of right now.
Those were good. Yeah, we could use some more of those.
Yeah, JoJo.
What is that?
What's up, Ashley? What are you gonna ask this week, Ashley? Is it too early to start drinking again? What were we gonna say, Shirley?
No, I just said for the staff. The protein
You
bar.
said there was a question.
Yeah, I wanted to know what other people do for self-talk, like what do they say to themselves to get themselves motivated or to get themselves out of a rut? Like, I know there's certain soundtracks that go off in my head when I need to either get myself going or to stay going, like what I'll say in my head to myself to motivate myself. So I'm just curious what other people say to themselves, like that's positive self-talk, not negative self-talk, because we all have negative self-talk that we got to get rid of. But I'm just curious, like, especially, you know, now when people have to go that extra mile to stay motivated, but even when there isn't a pandemic, what do you say to yourself to keep yourself motivated?
Let's go around the room, see if we have it, and then we'll wait for their answers.
Yeah,
All right, I like
that's a
that.
good idea.
What was the question?
Phil, positive self-talk.
That's not paying
What
attention.
about?
What do you tell yourself? What do you tell yourself to
Surely.
keep yourself motivated?
Positive self-talk.
I,
When you're working
today's
out.
a better day. I look at my arm and touch my arm, look at my kids, my strength. I mean, that was put me in a spot here, but you said that.
So I write on my mirror in my bathroom.
Lipstick? What do we tell ourselves? Positive self-talk.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I always look where I came from. You know, like a few years ago, my life was completely different. So first of all, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to be around those people. And in order to stay around the people that I surround myself with now, I have to make better decisions. I have to do things that I wasn't used to doing before. So I really keep that in the forefront of my brain. And then, you know what, like Shirley, hey, you know, if it's a bad day, it's a bad day. Like, we're going to move on. We're going to have, you know, a better day tomorrow, not dwell on it. So I try not to sit in my own shit.
Too much shoulders this week, you know.
Yeah.
I know, right? Thursday.
All right, going to Angela.
Piggyback off of what Phil said, you know, my life was different too a few years ago, and I just look back, I'm like, not today.
Today ain't your day.
Today is not like yesterday, and I will just keep pressing forward.
Right, I think that's like a really important thing when you look back at some of the, you know, like the last few years have been hard for me. So sometimes I say, if I can get through that, I can get through anything. But, you know, I even think like just even simple things like getting through cardio, right? Like I have like my 18-minute rule. If I can get through 18 minutes, okay, because usually the first 10, especially for me, really stink. If I can get through 18, then I can do whatever after 18. But I have to commit and say, no, you got to get to 18 minutes. You got to get to 18 minutes because that's when the blood really starts flowing and you start getting into the workout and then you can hang, you can stay after that. But you just have to have a point where you say, I'm not going to give up till this point. Let's say you give up at 18 minutes, right? Let's say, okay, I still feel like crap. It's been 18 minutes. All right, well, at least you got 18 minutes in. But most people won't stop at 18 minutes. They'll continue on. So like some of my self-talk is just like, keep going. You've been in worse places than this, keep going.
So there's actually some scientific information that is why that happens. So when you first start cardio, you're running on sugars. So the first few minutes are sugars, and then once you run out of sugars, your body switches energy systems, and then it switches to carbohydrates. Now carbohydrates is your long-lasting energy system. So that's why when you hit a certain point, like I know when I do a 5K, the first mile is always the hardest. And then it feels like, when you finish, like, I could have ran so much more. It's because you're hitting those glycogen levels, the stores that are in your body, and your body runs on that so much more efficiently than a sugar. That's why sprinters usually eat something very sugary before they sprint, because it's like quick energy. A 100 meter sprint, like that's why Marshawn Lynch will eat Skittles on the sidelines, because his energy is like super fast. It plays like 7 seconds, so he keeps his energy levels up like that. That's why for runners, not super long distance, but for like 5Ks, maybe 10Ks, they'll carbo load the night before. And for marathon runners, it actually, once you run out of carbohydrates, then you transfer to fat, your fat stores. So that's why for marathon runners or even like ultra marathoners, they'll actually load on fats, high fats. So there is some sort of scientific reason why that happens, and it's just because you're hitting your carbohydrate stores after those first few minutes.
So just tough it out.
We do have, hold on, so we do have a couple of responses. Carol Kasprick from Jayville, Florida chimes in and says, not Carol Baskin, says, I remind myself how much better I feel when I'm done working out.
That was actually
Elaine Weinberg says, per Wade, know your why.
Yeah.
To keep motivated, know your why, purpose.
Yeah, I like those.
So I was going back onto your motivation. I'm gonna show everybody this. What I want to look like hanging around. So growing up, I was a huge Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. Okay, so I keep this and I look at it constantly, saying, "This is what I want to look like." It's been almost like a lifelong
Jean-Claude.
goal of mine, and it just motivates me. Like, do I look like that yet? Nope. Then I better get my ass to the gym. And it might come off negative, but I find it a positive way because it lights a fire under my ass every time I look at it. So that's what I do. You find, and don't pick one of these off a magazine. Pick something, like a realistic person, because you gotta remember, like, the goal for these fitness magazines is to sell fitness magazines. Right. Okay, so they're not there because they actually genuinely want to help you. And these people that are on these magazines, they don't look like that 24/7. They're there for a photo shoot, and you have to kind of set your goals realistically and look for real people.
Photoshop.
A lot of Photoshop, a lot of editing, post editing. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the magazine. Oh, I want to look like that. Chances are, unless you really want to starve yourself, they did an interview on Netflix on guy fitness models. And they're miserable. They're like, I have to look like this all the time because if I get a call for a shoot, then I need to be fitness ready. And they say they're miserable. They're constantly dieting, and it's really not a good quality of life to have to strive for something that doesn't look like that 100% of the time. So yes, you want to look great, but you also have to be realistic in your goals and just know, oh, do I feel better, look better, and that should be enough.
Stacy writes in, she says that my goal is to get a workout in before 9 every day because it gets too hot, which I think is good. Goals are good, right?
Yeah.
Goals are good too. And have, so they're saying, write them down, read them, write them down, read them. Karen says, John, she gets
out of the
it.
way early, because as the day goes on, the more chances of you coming up with an excuse.
Karen Adams wants to look like J-Lo.
There you go. Okay.
Who did not answer this question? Jay, go.
I mean, not to piggyback, but I know where I once was, and I made it a goal, and this may sound negative, not to ever get back to that feeling of how I would wake up, my knees would hurt, my back would hurt, just kind of going back off what they said. And that's kind of my sole driving motivational factor. And, also, I don't think anybody really is going to want to bring their kids to a gym with a guy who's completely out of shape and can't even stand up on his own 2 feet. So it's kind of motivating me to keep my business running well as myself running well. And that's kind of what I keep telling myself each morning. So if you see me running down 441, that's why.
Yeah, I think that's something that me and Shirley and Jay all have in common is that we were all very heavy growing up.
Yep.
And, that conscious effort to not go back to that place. I mean, I think I almost weighed as much as Jay did when he was heavy, and I'm only 5'1". But, that we've all made those choices, not just aesthetically, but leading a healthier lifestyle because either our knees hurt or it hurt to climb up a flight of steps or we were out of breath. And, we've come to this point, we've kept it off year after year after year and saying like, you won't go back to that place. To be able to say, I'm in this door now and I'm never going back here it's like a part of the motivation. I keep pictures of myself from when I was really heavy, like John keeps Van Damme, I keep, Paula Tucker at 18, and I look at those pictures and that's my reverse motivation. I don't want to look like that again.
And you want to look the part. I would say with the business for a reason, so you have to look the part. So that's another motivation in itself.
Right.
So not to exclude Jay from this, but I think for like you two, you probably get a lot where it's like, because you probably talk to a lot of women, and women express their emotions a little bit more than men, and they say, well, it's easy for you because you love working out.
Right.
So what do you say to that?
It's not easy. I mean,
Never easy.
it look like this because we make the sacrifice of working out and living a lifestyle a certain way.
What's a mental thing that you say to yourself to keep that?
I gotta look the part. I'm in the business. I mean, that's why it helps me a lot to keep it going. And like they said, I don't want to go back to where I was before.
Well, the mental side of that also is, I mean, it must make you feel better because you do put in all that work. And like, if somebody
You
asks
do.
you, like, how do you stay fit? Doesn't look like you do anything. It's because, you know, I do
Yeah.
kick my ass every day. I do bust my butt in the gym to make sure.
People say to me, oh, it's
Right.
genetics. That's what makes me upset, yes.
Because, you know, it gives you the ability to just run a marathon and win.
Right. You know, it's easy to say, oh, it's easy for you, it's genetics, and I fight my genetics every step of the way. My genetic propensity is not to be this.
Horribly.
So
But-
I'm gonna help Cheryl out with that question because the answer for her is it's not an option.
Right,
Right.
Okay? If
right.
she doesn't work out, she literally gets pissed
Right.
off.
I do get angry with myself.
So her mental
That's true.
answer to that is it's not an option.
It's true.
I work out, that's it. If I don't, then there's a problem, and that's her mental.
Right, like bathing isn't an option, brushing your teeth
Right.
isn't an option, and
You
maybe
build
working
it
out.
into your
Wait,
daily life.
brushing your teeth is not.
Bathing
Oh,
is
you've been
not
laughing
an
this whole
option.
time?
It's true, I do say that to myself. Whether I'm sick or, you know, because I've been going out to lifestyle issues, it doesn't matter. Working out is never not an option.
So for my answer, I'm just the opposite of them because I've always been skinny. And my issue isn't the way that I look big, it's how I look small. And I've been using the last 20 years of my life working on my mental state. I'll start from the morning. When I wake up in the morning and the alarm goes off, there's no conversation in my head. It's get up. It's not, should I hit the snooze? Should I get up? What am I doing? There's no conversation. I cut it off and I just get up and I go through my morning routine. And then when it comes to working out, it is good to keep a routine. That's why I keep talking about it. So you get to the live classes, know that you have an appointment, know which one you're going to be doing the next day and throughout the week. And then while you're working out, you guys have heard me on in the live videos, I tell myself, my mind says, man, this sucks. I tell you, shut up and just keep moving because you are a machine. All right. Everything that you're using up here is a tool. Your body is a tool. It's a machine. And you hear me say in class all the time, just keep going, just do it. All right. It wants to complain because it's not used to. Well, guess what? That's what you want to change. In order for you to evolve, in order for you to get the most out of your workouts, you have to hurt. And you want that coming up in your mind, but you gotta know that you need to tell your mind to shut up and just keep going. Because yeah, it sucks, but who cares?
And
That's what the results are for.
And it may sound easy, like Matt may be making it sound, but you can make it that easy. You can tell your brain to just, you can shut that pain down real quickly. I mean, it's something that we've all gotten really good at is, you know, trying to stay in shape, but it sounds simple, it's because it is. You just tell yourself you'll get through it. I mean, it's 20 to 30 minutes out of your day, then you got the rest of the day to do what you want to do. And, you know, I'm not saying veg on the couch all day, but at least you can get it in, get it out, get it over with, and then, you know, you can feel better about having a lazy day in the afternoon. I mean, it does make it that much more simple on yourself because you're not thinking about, oh God, I have to run this afternoon or I have to do my workout later. It just, the quicker you think about it, the quicker you get it done, better off you're going to feel it, make it a routine, make it a habit like Matt said, and you're going to feel a lot better about yourself.
All really good answers. For me, it is more like, hey, you know, I try and tap into historical, monumental things that I feel like I've accomplished when we're talking in the physical realm, right? So we're talking about, you know, what's the positive stuff we say to ourselves. So it's like, you've been through Marine Corps boot camp, you've done 140.6 Ironman. So I try and tap into those things when I kind of lose my mojo. But I think what also is really important for anyone watching this is everyone just offered you a bunch of different answers and none of them might work for you. So it's important that you find some healthy and positive things that you say to yourself that do inspire and do motivate you, because some of the stuff that we offered here, you heard different answers from different people because different things drive us and different things inspire us and different things get our ass out of bed when we don't feel like getting our asses out of bed. So it's trial and error and you have to just try and find something that's going to work for you.
Yeah, don't think we've all gotten here really quickly. There's been a lot of error throughout this process. I've done a lot of things wrong that I've had to learn how to do correctly. So, I mean, just don't think it's going to happen overnight. This is something that you got to build and keep one day at a time, one brick at a time. Don't get discouraged because we're going to have setbacks. Everybody does. You just got to keep grinding.
We're still learning, so.
Are there any?
I was running a couple nights ago, and a lot of people don't know that I run still because I like to hide it. So I sneak up on people like a ninja when I'm super fast. But I had headphones in, and I did like a little thing on Instagram where I was like jamming out to the music that was in my ears. And it's funny because one of my buddies actually commented on or sent me a DM, and he's like, "No music, you run to the misery of past experiences." And that's something that's driven me for a long time, and we just brought it up. Because like I've been through some grueling physical shit, like dozens of mile hikes with like hundreds of pounds, like bad weather, bad terrain. I mean, with or without, ground going over your head, it's you've been through some miserable stuff, and I'm sure it doesn't have to be physical stuff. But think about, I remember this one specific hike that I was on, and we were in Camp Pendleton. We were on what they call the Alpha Shelf, the microwave shelf. It's the most gnarly terrain in Pendleton on base. And we're all hiking up this hill, and we're about 14 miles into this hike. And you basically just keep doing the same thing over and over again. And you're on a pitch where you're literally going up, like you have so much weight on your back that you're walking, staring at the floor in front of you. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this. And one of the things that kept me going was the people that were next to me that were still doing it. They were definitely feeling the same pain that I was. So get a battle buddy, like Matt was saying earlier, find somebody to work out with you. And two, it was the person that I wanted to be, right? I wanted to be a kick-ass lean Marine. And if you fall out, like that's it. Like all your credibility is gone, your career's done. So failure is not an option. Like don't make it. And it's not, when you stop doing that, when you stop thinking like that for any period of time, like for me, like for the past 4 days, like I haven't got a solid workout in, and I feel like shit about it, right? But it's easier to let that stuff go the longer you stop, with that mindset that I had when I was 19 years old hiking up that hill, right? So you do lose it if you don't use it. You have to rebuild that mindset. It's true. Because you're laughing, but the longer you go with, I did 10 squats and now my legs hurt, I'm gonna stop. The longer you don't push yourself to do, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 reps, is the longer it's going to take for you to build that tolerance and build that mindset where you can tell your brain, hey, shut up, I'm working now.
Well, failure is a big part of success too. I mean, it's a huge part of knowing that you got to get yourself back up on board so you can get kicked off. I mean, you can't just quit just because you can't do something right the first time. That's not a good mentality to have, period, let alone in any level of work, fitness, whatever it is.
There's a good saying, it says, when we were babies, if we all stopped trying to walk when we fell, none of you would all be crawling around.
Right.
Okay? And when you're babies, you don't have that mentality like, I guess walking's not for me. So we're gonna crawl around here forever. No, they keep trying, they hold themselves up, and then they get the confidence like, I got this. I took one step. Okay, awesome. I'm going to take 2 steps without holding on to something. And that snowballs into just walking and running. And same thing goes with fitness. Like you have to, get through it and then be like, okay, that wasn't so bad. The next time, let me try just a little bit harder. Oh, that wasn't so bad. Now I can push a little harder. And that snowball effect, just like when you learn how to walk when you were a baby. Just same kind of concept.
So,
I want to read two things because they're up on the board and then they'll start going and I won't be able to find them. So Elaine writes in, what motivates you can change over time, which I think is also a very, very good point. And Sarah likes that. That's helpful. Failure is not an option. Thanks.
Right, and I think there's the real meaning behind pessimism and optimism is an optimist knows that things are fluid and that nothing's permanent and that it changes. Whereas someone who is a pessimist sees things as only black and white, like this is the way it is and it's never gonna change and it stinks and it's awful and this is my life. So optimism doesn't mean you always walk around going, everything's great. It's understanding that things may not be great right now, but that there's always that opportunity for things to change, that everything does ebb and flow. But I wanted to point out when John did the video, we were talking about like things that like we feel like we failed out. Like he did a video on squat form, and like I'm curious within the group, and obviously with people watching, like what is the exercise that you think like, gosh, I can't get good form. My form just sucks on that. Because I watched John's and I realized like I feel like for me squats are really hard to do well. And so some of it's like, we've worked together for years, and the tips he gave actually helped me, and I've been doing this for a long time. So I know for me, that's one of the exercises where form is a struggle for me. So I'm curious, since we all work out so much and people take the classes, what's that one exercise for you where you have to really be conscious of your form because you just can't seem to get it right?
Sarah Scaldini burpees, Carol lunges.
Probably squats, push-ups.
I say push-ups, yeah.
most often.
Hiking your hips down.
That push-up challenge.
Right, like I find with push-ups, people's hands are here, and it's a push-up, which works your chest. So your hands should be in line with your chest. And when people have their hands higher than that, they're working a smaller muscle. It's harder to do.
And it's essential
Called an imminent shoulder problem.
Exactly. So it's interesting because those little tweaks in your form make all of a sudden something you thought was so hard is actually not so hard when you do it properly. But
Then when you start training correctly, you start getting stronger in that area.
right, so I'm just curious, like, Shirley, like, what's an exercise for you?
Just like you, that would be the squats. I mean, I do my squat differently because whenever I put the bar on my back, I just feel like it's very hard to keep my form. And I've been told because my hips doesn't go the right way, which but yeah, squats is one of the main exercises I have a hard time doing,
Right.
especially when the bar's on my arm. That's why I gotta modify the way I'm doing it.
Right,
Because of that, yeah.
I'm actually the opposite. I'm better with a bar on my back because it keeps my back straight. If I hold dumbbells, I start to do this.
I'm good.
So,
I put the bar in front of me and
Yeah.
yeah.
Kimberly writes in, motivation for me is seeing and feeling the results, doing the daily workout, and Paula Tucker Bernstein, and adding Matthew Jones abs and Paula Tucker Bernstein's glute stuff. I didn't get all that because there's a lot there, but that was the gist of it. All right, let's do final thoughts. Final thoughts, Matt. Or here, let's go this way. Phil, you got to go. Final thoughts.
It's okay to be miserable like that. You get to a point where being miserable is fun. Like I love to go outside and like work out in like thunderstorms in mud. Like let's have fun with it. Like I don't want to get dirty. I don't want to get sweaty. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Get used to doing that kind of stuff. Go swim in a dirty lake for God's sakes. Like stop being so clean. But I'm serious. Like I'm not even trying to be funny. Like being miserable. Make it fun for yourself, and it'll make life that much easier. Hey, you too. Embrace the sun.
All right, since we're on this side, Paula.
Oh.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts is that, and Matt and I kind of had this conversation the other day, like there's no great time for a pandemic, but I have to say that these few weeks of this pandemic have been, oddly enough, the most enlightening and happiest time that I can remember. It's given me such clarity of thought on a lot of different areas of my life. It's brought me to a realization of who are the people that bring positive energy into my life. And I have to say, it's the people in this room. It is the people in this room and the people watching right now. It's been 3 weeks of, while I've kept myself really busy the last, 2 jobs, working out so that I would avoid kind of confronting the things that I need to think about in my life. These few weeks of being home and not being able to busy myself have forced me to look at those things. And I have to say, the pandemic's been kind of positive for me right now. And I'm happy with the self-work that I've done. It's been really eye-opening for me, and I can take the misery that's come with the pandemic. And again, like I said the last panel, if you can't find something good from something that sucks, then it's just something that sucks. So you gotta find something good.
That needs to be a meme or
Right?
Right?
The suckitude.
suckitude, swirl.
For me, it's like, it's okay, guys, to have a bad day. It's okay, I don't want to say I feel the same, to be miserable. You know, I mean, good days are ahead. Just have to keep your moral high and find your strength. And my strength, you know, it's always looking like, whenever I feel down, it's my tattoo of my son and my daughter, and those are what keeps me strong. So find your strength, you know, better days are ahead.
I know what you're thinking at home. The Matt tattoo's coming soon.
Right?
Jay, what do you? Where are you there?
Well, I mean, as kind of Phil was touching upon, I do really actually feel much better covered in sweat. I know it sounds weird, but like it's just one of those things that you just feel so much more, it's rewarding knowing I just worked this hard to put forth to whatever my goals are, whatever your goals are. It doesn't really matter. Everyone has separate goals and everyone has different goals, but and as Paula touched upon, like there's no real good time for anything, let alone a pandemic, but I've used this time to reconnect with some of my closest friends that I haven't really spoken to in a while. I mean, none of the excuses of the rat race of the normal day of working and this, that, and the other, where you're just too tired to even pick up a phone and call somebody. You learn that those are just what they are, excuses, and use this time to navigate through what's actually an excuse and what's actually important in your life, and just try to, like I said earlier, build upon that.
So my final thought would be, don't be okay at being bad at something, especially an exercise. So say you're not good at squatting, don't be okay with that. There are ways to get better and perfect your technique, especially when we have all this time now. It's a perfect opportunity to work on the things we're not so great at. So if you're not good at push-ups, now is a great time to work on push-ups. Figure out, what am I doing wrong? What is it supposed to look like? What do I look like? Videotape yourself. Watch the video, watch yourself. Do I look like this person that's doing it correctly? If not, work on it, think about it, and make those connections with your body. It's all about proprioceptive awareness. And fingers, I don't know, big words, SAT words. And get good at it. We have all the time now, and right now, like everyone said, there's no excuses, but work at it. It's a skill just like anything else.
Right. What are all those people saying now that used to tell you, I don't have enough time to work out?
Right.
They're still not working
I'm
out.
not,
You see how you just made Wade.
Holy shit.
hey, Sarah Lazarus logged on time.
She did. Shit, this is what a whole hour feels like.
Not to call you out, Sarah, but I loved it. She even called
Right.
herself out. It was great.
Matt Jones, what you got?
So
Final
several-
thoughts.
I've got several because I've been writing them down. Check-ins, guys. One of the most important things about check-ins is that you're a part of this community, and when you're checking in, you're a part of the class. So even if you're not doing it with the class live, guess what? You're watching the videos. You're doing it with other people. So check in, even if it's not specifically at that time. All right. I looked at the numbers, and yes, I am looking at the numbers. We have over 200 members here, and 145 of them have checked in over the last week when we did this. So keep it up.
Great job.
Keep it going. We are taking a look at those stats. Accountability partners, Melissa brought it up. How do you stay focused? How do you stay motivated? You get yourself an accountability partner, and you set the date with them. You set the time you're going to work out, even if it's not live, and you do the workout with them, okay? Because they'll keep you going. All right. Something about what Paula said earlier triggered something in my mind. Like I said, I've been on this journey for 20 years about my mindset, and it was really negative my entire life. So one of the things that I do when we're in trying to stay positive, not being a pessimist, but also not just thinking positive all the time. If a negative thought comes in your head, just stop it. Stop it immediately and say, no, I'm not going to think that way. Let's move on to something else, because you have that power, you have that ability. Also, I do want to point out the fact that you guys have changed us. Again, everybody said here that everything's changing, and I wanted to come back and take these classes, and I'm forced to. And I can say that my knee is already feeling better. I think it's almost like a type of physical therapy, but our community has forced us to be better, take the classes, and challenge ourselves in a different way. So I want to say thank you to everybody out there.
I know, right?
Not insulted.
And
This is why you don't take class.
it has also reignited the fire in me. I love these workouts. I took Paul's classes Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. every single day for a year. That's what inspired me to be a trainer. And this has brought back the passion again into my life. So thank you guys.
So final thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
To piggyback off of some of the entire panel discussion today is the accountability aspect. So my challenge for you guys are to start reaching out to people. I'm not talking about just people that are in our wonderful Evolution Fitness community, but check in with someone, like Jay said, he was reunited with some old friends, and I have Marine Corps buddies that have been checking in on me, and I took it upon myself to start checking in with people that I haven't talked to in a long time to see how they're doing. You know, people that some of my best friends live in different states now that I grew up with, and we don't get to see each other often, but this is the time where we have a lot of time, and it's important to check in on some of those people because you never know what that little reaching out can do to someone. So each day trying to reach out to someone different, and you're part of this real beautiful and special community, and I really mean that. And I think we're doing a great job so far, staying together, keeping one another accountable, but we can always do more. That's what Evolution Fitness is about, always trying to push to the next level. So during this next week, including today, reach out to someone you haven't talked to in a while, someone from high school, college, or a former job, or a childhood friend, and just check in on them because you never know what that might mean to that individual.
Awesome.
Bye,
Thanks
guys.
for joining.
Bye, Jay.
Sweetie.
Bye. If you find Carol Baskins, let us know.
That bitch Carol Baskin.